Topic 9. Speaking, Campus and Lectures. Now, in this topic, you will learn other different types of questions that you will find in the speaking section of the exam, as well as the tips to answer them. In these questions, you will need to read a passage, then listen to a conversation, and finally respond. Point of view. When you're taking the exam, in the speaking section, you will need to read a passage. Then, you'll listen to a conversation where the speaker expresses his or her opinion about the topic of the conversation. What you're going to do is explain why the speaker has that point of view. Here are some points you must consider. You want to express your point of view. It's the point of view of the speaker depending on the passage. The most important information will be in the conversation. You should take some notes. You can write the main ideas and important details about what you hear. Don't write complete sentences. Write keywords that help you remember important information. It's important for you to give details or reasons to support your answer. Now I'm going to explain you how to determine the purpose of a lecture on a standardized test. You'll have answer choices to help you figure out, but there are very tricky questions that will confuse you. First, you will be asked to read a passage and then listen to the lecture. The purpose of the lecture will be related to the passage. You will have to answer if the lecture supports, contradicts, or adds information to it. Look for the similarities and differences in the reading and listening. When you take notes, pay special attention to these aspects.
In the speaking section, you will need to identify the problem that is stated in a conversation. Your job will be to analyze the advantages and disadvantages in the answer choices, so you can choose the best solution to the problem. The following words and phrases in the table will be helpful for the answer. Now I will give an example of a problem and two possible solutions. I need to go to the store for milk, but it's raining. We have the first solution. I could ask for my mom's umbrella, but also I will stay dry on my way to the store. The second solution is, I could go running on my way to the store. However, I will have the risk to get sick by all the rain. So, in this case, we should go for the first solution because it's more safe to go to the store.
In this type of questions of the speaking section, you will be asked to summarize a lecture and mainly discuss the arguments made by the speaker. For this question, you may take notes, but make sure they have the most important information about the arguments made by the speaker. Include the main ideas and details. The question asks you to summarize the lecture, and by doing that, you will have to quote what the speaker professor during the lecture. Here are some words you can use.
In conclusion, all you need to remember is that the information you will have to discuss in the type of questions that you just learned is stated in the lectures or conversations. The point of view question is all about explaining why the speaker is expressing that opinion. When you determine the purpose of a lecture, remember that it is based in its relation with the passage. In the problem-solution questions, you have to identify the problem, so you can decide which is the best solution in what you listened previously. In deciding and summarizing questions, you will have to paraphrase the words of the speaker or cite what he or she said in order to add details to your summary. Note-taking is an important activity because you need to get the main ideas and details in all of these types of questions. Classroom activity: how to speak in public. Whether we're talking in a team meeting, taking a speaking exam, or even talking in front of an audience, a good communication is always important. Instructions. First, write about how to speak in public. Make a suggestions of how not to be afraid of speaking in public. What can a person do to lose his or her fear to speaking in public? Why is this social skill important for your personal life or career? Which kind of jobs require a person to speak well in public? Write at least 250 words. Research for some material if you need and use the proper vocabulary. When it's your turn to be the audience, practice what you learn in the topic. For example, try to remember clue words, take notes, search for words you don't know, etc.
Read again the passages on the page 169 and 170. Listen to the audios which complement the passages. Answer orally the following questions about the passages. A. What is the passage about? B. What is the purpose of the author? C. Give the response of the questions that comes according to the passage. Take notes if you need to prepare your response. Your teacher will ask you to talk about one of the questions.